All right, how's everybody doing? And welcome to the Psychic in the Doc. My amazing co-host, Dr. Pat Baccili, will be back next week, but we have a very special surprise. My co-host for tonight is none other than Rocky Trainer. And for those of you who've attended my live events when I've been on tour, you've seen Rocky because she travels with me on my speaking tours, on my spirit communication tours, and she's the one that introduces me. And Rocky schedules my public events and handles just a tremendous amount of things for me. And Rocky has a great background in the music, the television, the film business. And Rocky, I got to tell him a funny story about you. So she was at this party in South Florida, and a bunch of rock and roll stars were there. And Edgar Winter, who's a guitar legend, he was there, and she met him. And there was some guys from the rock group Foreigner and all this. Well, you know, Rocky and I had just gotten off tour, and so she took a few days off. She's down in South Florida, and she was going to go to a concert at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino near Fort Lauderdale. And so she's in the elevator, and she gets off the elevator, and she steps out, and there's all the paparazzi, all these reporters, all these flashes start going off, and they're taking pictures of Rocky. And she's thinking, well, I know Mark's getting more, you know, high profile, but are they here for me? And then the elevator next to her opens up, and Ringo Starr walks out with his wife, Barbara Bach, who was a Bond woman, and Edgar Winter, who she just met a couple of weeks ago. And Edgar, and then all of a sudden the paparazzi, they're taking pictures of Ringo. And then Edgar goes, Rocky? And she goes, Edgar? And Ringo goes, oh, hi, Rocky. I'm Ringo Starr. And she's like, yeah, I know. And then they're like taking pictures of Rocky and all this. So, you know, I just thought I'd share that with everybody. Welcome to the show, Rocky.
Well, thank you very much. It was, it definitely was an exciting evening, and it was the all-star band that Ringo was doing that evening, and they were stupendous. I mean, it was
yeah, that's what you were there to see, and you actually run into Ringo and all these incredible musicians.
Yeah, and I already had seats, and Edgar says, "Oh, do you want to get in the show?" And I thought, yeah, but I couldn't. The folks that I was with, it would only be me. So, but it was really cool. Billy Squire was there, and Todd Rundgren, and Gary Wright, you know, Dreamweaver and Love Is Alive, and I'm trying to remember who else, and another rocker from Scotland. And they put on a great show. And it's so funny because Ringo he's just the sweetest pie, and Barbara Bach is just lovely, gorgeous. And And when he sings that song, I Can Sing Out of Key. Oh, he does. And he really
But we
does.
love Ringo. We love
Oh, I
Ringo.
love him. But it was so funny. I mean, he even made jokes about it. He said that was like kind of a funny thing inside the Beatles. But anyway, that tells me how old I am, the Beatles. And tonight we have a really great show because it's about you folks calling in. Unfortunately, I am not the doc. I haven't played one on TV or anything like that, but we are missing Dr. Pat.
Yeah, we are.
And we are looking forward to you coming back. And but I'll be here to connect with Jacob. Hi, Jacob. Jacob is the guy
Yeah,
behind the
yeah. For
scenes.
those of you who don't know, Jacob, he is our producer. He's our tech guy. Jacob, just go ahead and say hi to everybody.
Hey guys, how's it going? I'm happy to be joining you tonight.
Super
Maybe
duper.
Yeah.
Rocky and I can kind of, combine our brains to, sort of be like Dr. Pat.
So I'm wearing my astronaut shirt tonight. I got to show everybody. That's my astronaut shirt. The reason is yesterday, a true American hero passed at age 90, Michael Collins. And Michael Collins was the pilot of Apollo 11, which took Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin and Michael Collins to the moon. And Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, they took the lunar module, the Eagle, and they landed on the moon. And I have a lot of stories about that on a personal nature. I've been honored throughout my life. I've met both Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. So I met the first two,
And John Glenn.
and John Glenn, and Captain Mike Foreman, and Bill Nelson, and I've met a number of astronauts, but Michael Collins was the pilot. Buzz Aldrin was the engineer. Neil Armstrong was the explorer. And a lot of people always wondered if Michael Collins felt slighted because he never set foot on the moon. But he was the pilot on the command module, which was orbiting the moon. And he wrote something which I want to share with everybody. It's very, very profound because you got to realize he was farther from Earth than any human had ever been. And while the Eagle was on the moon with Armstrong and Aldrin, he was alone orbiting the moon. And for people who aren't aware, the moon doesn't rotate like the Earth. In other words, we always see the same side of the moon as it orbits Earth. And the dark side of the moon is really dark. And this is what he had to say, writing about solitude. I don't mean to deny a feeling of solitude. It is there, reinforced by the fact that radio contact with the Earth abruptly cuts off at the instant I disappear behind the moon. I am alone now, truly alone, and absolutely isolated from any known life. I am it. If account were taken, the score would be 3 billion plus 2 over on the other side of the moon, and 1 plus God only knows what on this side. I feel this powerfully, not as fear or loneliness, but as awareness, anticipation, satisfaction, confidence, almost exultation. I like the feeling. Outside my window, I can see the stars, and that is all. Where I know the moon to be, there is simply a black void. The moon's presence is defined solely by the absence of stars. To compare the sensation with something terrestrial, perhaps being alone in a skiff in the middle of the Pacific Ocean on a pitch black night would most nearly approximate my situation. Wow. He wrote that when he was literally on the dark side of the moon. And I've met, as Rocky indicated, a number of astronauts, and the ones that went to the moon and the ones that orbit the Earth, all of them are profoundly changed by the experience. The ones who went to the moon often talk about isolation and loneliness. And I like to equate that with the feelings that people are going through in the devastation in the wake of the passing of a loved one. Grief creates an isolation, a loneliness, a separation that can in some way help us understand perhaps what Michael Collins felt on the dark side of the moon. So with that, Rocky, what do you think we ought to do from here?
Well, I think we should take some callers and maybe you can connect them with the other side. And I would suggest people call in now. We can't take everyone, but we'll try to get to as many callers as possible. Jacob will, with the assistance of the rest of the great Transformation Network crew, will bring you in and put you on hold. And then we'll just take it
Right.
from there,
And
Mark.
if people want to call in, the call-in number is toll-free, 1-800-930-2819. That's 1-800-930-2819. Jacob, who do we have in the queue?
Yeah, let's get started. We're going to start with DJ from Arizona.
Okay.
Hey, DJ, you're on
Thanks.
with Mark and Rocky.
Hi.
Hey, hey, DJ, how you doing?
DJ. Good, thank you. And thank you for taking my call.
DJ, I
love
cannot
the
understand a
phone.
thing you're saying. Jacob, is there anything we can do? The phone connection's
Thank
really,
you for
really
taking
distorted.
my call.
What it is, the resonance of your voice is extremely important to my ability to connect to the other side. So if you are calling in, make sure that you shut the speakers on your computer off, that you don't have a radio playing in the background, and that your phone
Got
connection is very clear. Let's try it again, DJ.
Is that better?
That is 1,000,000% better. It's like you came around from the dark side of the moon and established radio contact with, well, I guess with the other side. All right. So what can I help you with?
I lost a friend earlier this year, and I was wondering if he would come through.
Okay, well, let's see. All right. Now realize when I open up to higher frequencies, spirits are going to come forward. And sometimes the person that you want to hear from the most is not always the first one to come through. So other people that you know may come through first. But I am getting a male energy coming through. And the thing about him, okay, this energy, this spirit's coming through, and I'm getting this severe pain in the area of my heart and pancreas. So he could have very well been having some cardiovascular problems, definitely some lung issues, because I'm getting this like rattly sound. And then my pancreas, my diaphragm is hurting a lot. The pancreas could indicate that he may have been having blood sugar issues, could be diabetes, or could be pancreatitis or pancreatic cancer, but I'm getting a massive pain there that he's transmitting to me. And the other thing that I'm getting, DJ, is that his passing wasn't a quick event. This gentleman, he was ill for a while, and I'm getting this struggle to maintain his mental focus and clarity. I'm also getting these shakes in my hands. I think this was related to the illness. I don't think this was like a Parkinson's or like a case of tremors. And I'm tasting this real bitter sensation in my mouth, which is indicating to me that he was on a lot of medications prior to passing. Does any of this resonate with you? Okay, that makes sense? Okay, great.
Yeah, definitely.
Did you guys know each other from the time you were really young?
Yes.
Yeah, and you know, when I took a step back, I kept hearing patty cake bakers, man, bake me a cake as fast as you can. Now, I don't know if you guys did that, but when a spirit triggers that particular memory in my brain, what that means is you knew this person back in when you were really young, back maybe when you were, guys were playing patty cake. Oh, he's laughing too. He's laughing. He says, but we didn't play Dr. Mark. We didn't, I swear. So you don't have to answer that, but this guy's hilarious. This guy's really funny. Does that make any sense?
Yes, very much.
Sorry, I'm laughing because he is a trip. Okay, so he's very, very pleased that you're making the effort to communicate with him. And he said that, what is with all the peas porridge hot, peas porridge cold, peas porridge in the pot, 9 days old. All right, now this one's tricky. Does that make any sense to you? Does that particular nursery rhyme have any significance? Unless
Not
you
that
ate a
I
bunch of peas
remember,
recently. I'm sorry, what?
No, not recently. No, I haven't eaten any peas, and that story or that rhyme doesn't ring any bells. But we were young, very young.
Oh, you were very young, so maybe that's why he's giving me all these. Okay, all right, hold on. Interesting. He's talking about the spleen. The spleen. Do you know if he was having any issues with the spleen, or perhaps you might be having some issues with the spleen? And my understanding is the spleen is interconnected with the immune system and also has a lot to do with production of white blood cells, which help in people's immunities. Does this make any sense to you?
Yes, me.
In
Yeah.
what way?
I've been having immune problems and a lot of complications.
Okay, so see, he's acknowledging that. Let's see what he's got to say. He wants to acknowledge that you're really intelligent and really smart about your health status, and you in other words, you're on top of it. He says you're doing all the right things. He said that the problem is you're not getting enough rest. He said you know that you have to sleep. He said, but you're not getting enough rest. Okay, so if you want to help your immune system, he is saying that you've got to make a concerted effort to get a full night's sleep. And it's like, what's with the celery salad? What's with you and celery salad?
I haven't had a celery salad for probably several months, but I do love celery.
Okay, when a spirit gives me a message of an explanatory advisory nature, and so he was talking about you and the rest in your spleen and immune system. That's the advice and explanation. And then when they followed up with an objectively verifiable fact, celery, you love celery, that verifiable fact, celery, is how he's letting you and I know that we've properly received and interpreted the message. But there's more. You need to start eating a celery salad again. Now, obviously, check with your nutritionist, your doctor, okay? But it seems like some chopped up celery, a little bit of lemon juice on it is going to be very beneficial to you, okay? So he wants you to know that. And he says, oh, and of course, let her know that I love her. I love her. He said 12:05, 12:05. That keeps getting repeated. That could be a time, like at 12:05 a.m. or p.m., or that could be a date like December 5th. Go ahead.
He's actually off. It's 12:04.
Okay,
but
in what way?
He always, it's my birthday.
He what? I'm sorry?
He always got it wrong.
Oh, your birthday. Well, there you go. I guess that's the cosmic equivalent of a belated happy birthday. DJ, thank you for calling in.
Thanks so much. Many blessings.
Thank you very much. Blessings to you.
Okay.
Okay, Jacob, what do you think?
That
We have
was
another
very
caller.
Cool. Next up, we've got Gail from Los Angeles. Let's see there. Hey, Gail, are you there?
Rocky.
Hello, Gail. Are you there?
Yes.
Okay, Mark is here for you.
Oh, great. I can barely hear you. Let me...
Yeah, we can barely hear you too, Gail. You got to crank your volume.
I was hearing the other person fine. Okay. Hi, I'm here.
Hey, Gail.
Hi, Gail.
Mark.
So what can I help you with?
I'm having a problem leaving the house after being isolated alone for the past year during COVID.
Okay.
And I wondered if anyone has any suggestions on how to get past this.
You know, Gail, I don't know if this is so much a metaphysical question. This would definitely be a Dr. Pack question, because you know what? I think you're not alone in that. I think millions of people are going through that as well. And I have to confess, I've been, it's funny, I have this regimen where I'll go to the grocery store and all this, and I'm real organized. And I wear my mask, and then I go and I leave. And then you get this feeling that you don't want to leave home. And I've actually heard, and I've been hearing health professionals discussing this. I guess they're calling it COVID fatigue is what they're calling. Yeah.
Yeah. And also, are you in a more urban area? Whereabouts? And like, I'm not asking specifically what address, but can you take walks?
I could. I did at the beginning, but I don't even do that anymore. I'm right in the middle of Los Angeles. I'm right outside of Beverly Hills.
Well,
the Beverlywood area. There's been no reason I can't go out.
And do you drive?
And I go out to shop and, for groceries, and I do the barest minimum. And
well, can I just suggest something? I'm not Dr. Pat, but I know that I too have had a difficult time getting back into things. I lived in New York City and I also live in the country now. So I've lived in both places. And my suggestion to you is maybe get up real early, get in your car, park yourself right near Rodeo Drive, where that beautiful park is. Right. Take a walk around in the park and do some window shopping before all the shops are open. And just kind of get yourself in the groove. Wear your mask so you could feel comfortable. Make sure it's daylight, of course. And just kind of ease yourself into getting outside. But my biggest suggestion is get out and walk and get yourself out into nature as well.
I agree with Rocky because nature has a completely different vibration. It's a very healing vibration, very calming. Also, physical exercise is the best way to combat and counteract grief as well as depression. And think about it. You're experiencing a form of depression because it's a fear of going out. And it's not necessarily an irrational fear. You have good reasons for this, but you've got to counteract it and do what Rocky said. Take a walk, get some fresh air, get some cardio exercise by walking around. I mean, doing window shopping on Rodeo Drive, I can't think of a classier form of cardio than that. So that would be my recommendation. So thank you so much for calling, and do check back with us. Call back in a couple weeks when we're doing another all call-in show, because let's get Dr. Pat's take on this too.
Yes. Yeah.
Can I ask you one other question?
Sure.
Is there anyone that you can sense from the other side that wants to say something to me?
Well, there's always somebody that wants to say something to you. Is your mom on the other side?
Yeah.
Okay, because I got a mom figure that just handed me a big bowl of strawberry ice cream. Now, that does not mean run out and start eating strawberry ice cream, but there could be some significance with you or her, like you love or hate strawberry ice cream, or she loved or hated it. But strawberries are also my trigger for a significant event within the month of February. So that can indicate births, deaths, anniversaries, or events. Connect you or her or someone close to you within February. Does any of that make sense?
Yeah, I was born in the middle of February.
Boom. All right. So your mom's here, and your mom says, get off and get outside.
Okay.
I'll say, get off your tuchus.
Tuchus, good. I'm a Jew from New York.
Oh, okay. She said, get off your, first it was something else, then she came back around with tuchus. And it's funny because tuchus is not a, Rocky, have you ever heard me use tuchus?
Never.
This
is the first time.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I've heard it, I've seen Everybody Loves, I've seen Everybody Loves Raymond. I've heard the word tuchus.
Right.
All right, Gail. So basically, the spirits on the other side, spearheaded by your mom, want you to get out and start moving around. Okay.
Take it slow.
Enjoy
yourself. Enjoy yourself.
I thank you both very much.
Thank you. Many
Blessings
blessings. All right, Rock.
Oh, yeah. So, Jacob, what do you think? We have someone from Chicago?
Yeah, we do. We've got Doris on the line waiting from Chicago. Let's bring her on.
Yay. Hey, Doris, are you there?
Hello.
Hello, Doris.
Hello.
Hi.
Yes.
You're on air with Mark
Hi.
Anthony.
Hi. Thank you so much, both of you. And may I just say, Mark, what you read about from Michael Collins, those words were very profound. So thank you for reading that.
You know, I appreciate that. Yeah, when I saw that, you know, it's just so amazing. And you know, I've seen Buzz Aldrin talk. I saw Neil Armstrong. I mean, I was working at a hotel when I was like 17. It was my first job, and it was a 5-star resort. And I had to wear my little tuxedo outfit and all this. And all of a sudden, I realized the person I had to take care of was Neil Armstrong. And I was terrified because, I mean, I knew who he was, and I was shaking. I was, you know, that was the first really, really super famous person. I mean, I'd met, like, you know, state politicians, but whatever, you know, but here was, you know, namaste to them. All right. But here was a true legend. And I remember my boss said, don't talk to him. Leave Commander Armstrong alone. Don't, you know, and so I'm shaking, and I'm carrying his golf clubs, and I'm praying, please don't drop his golf clubs, because I was so nervous. And he was super nice, but he only tipped me $1.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, but it was such an honor to have met him. And Buzz Aldrin's a whole nother story. But all of these gentlemen, I heard Neil Armstrong, this little boy, he said, what was it like walking on the moon? And Neil Armstrong was usually really reserved and all that. And all of a sudden he goes, it was so cool. It was great. All right. Anyway. So what can I do for you, Doris?
I would like to know if anything can come through. Sunday is 20 months. My granddaughter, or I know that it might not be her. It might be anyone else.
That's right. You don't have to give me a list. Let me open up to see who I get. Okay. And I didn't mean to cut you off, but I know we're coming up on a break.
No, I wasn't going to give you a list.
Okay.
I heard you talk to the first person that said.
All right, Doris, I got to get to these folks. Okay, namaste.
That's
okay, Rocky.
Yeah, Doris, let him get into it. Okay.
With your granddaughter, was there a reason I'm saying this? There's a younger female energy coming through, and I feel like I'm drowning in my own fluids. This could be congestive heart failure. This could be pneumonia, but I'm getting this pain in my right lung, and it feels like there's this massive infection fluid in my lungs. But the thing is, this is what's so weird, is now I'm getting this abrupt sensation. So this may not have been a protracted illness. This indicates to me there was something that was affecting her lungs, her rib cage, but it hit her like a ton of bricks. This could be a trauma. Does this make any sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Drowning, September 2nd.
Drowning. Okay. So that would be the fluid in the lungs, the trauma. Okay. Hold on. The water was cold. I'm sorry. This is what she's getting to me. She said, because I feel that this young woman was a strong swimmer, but the cold water, it caused cramps, and it affected her ability to swim. And then she panicked. But she does want you to know that beyond the initial panic, it was very serene. It's interesting because at first blush, it felt like this really intense physical trauma. And then I see this flash of blue and going right into the white light. And so she wants you to know that she's in the light, Did you have a cat that passed?
No.
Somebody had a cat. There's a little kitty cat with her.
When she was young, she had a cat.
And that is one of the entities, one of the spirits that is with her. So she wants you to know that. Jacob, how are we doing on time?
We're good. Whenever you're ready to go to break, we can do this for a couple more
Okay.
minutes, so no problem.
All right, hold on. Let me give a final message for Doris. Her mother's still here in this world, right?
Yes.
It's interesting because, yeah, she loves her mom, but you had that special connection with her. The two of you were like two peas in a pod. That's what she says. Does that make any sense?
I raised her, yes.
Okay. So really, you're the mother figure in her life. And she said, we were like two peas in a pod. And she goes, tell my Gamma I love her so very much.
Thank you.
God bless. I'm so sorry for your loss.
So sorry for your loss. Many blessings.
Yeah, I think Jacob.
Aw.
Yeah, Jacob, I think we should take a break.
Joining us today is psychic lawyer Mark Anthony. Mark, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I don't think there's another person on the planet anywhere who shares this guy's resume.
He's a lawyer, a psychic, and an author.
Oh yeah, let's not forget he is also fourth-generation psychic.
Our first guest believes there is life on the other side and communicates with those who have passed over.
An Oxford-educated, well-respected attorney.
Mark Anthony.
Psychic lawyer Mark Anthony. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. I keep hearing you are my sunshine. You are my sunshine, my only
Now,
sun.
he gave me a music box once with that song.
What she wants you to know is you measured up. She's also talked about your heart and your heart health. There's something going on that you need to get on top of.
I have really high cholesterol.
Oh, totally busted from the other side.
Thanks, Kay.
He wants me to sing a song for you. I just called to say I love you. I just called to say I really care.
We split up for a short time, and he moved back to Texas, and I wouldn't take his phone calls, and I came home, and that was on my answering machine.
I'm Mark Anthony, and I'm known as the Psychic Explorer. I travel to paranormal, mystical, and sacred sites around the world. It's overwhelming how powerful this place is. I'm also a trial attorney. What could be scarier than a lawyer who sees dead people? And I seek evidence to explain the unknown. My whole left side, I feel like someone's breaking my arm. As a psychic medium, I must provide evidence transmitted to me by spirits to prove the authenticity of the contact.
Woo. Now I'm getting cold chills and tingles.
There's different types of psychic ability, and what a spirit does is they emit this energetic impulse, and within that are intelligent concepts. So the spirit's electromagnetic field interfaces with the electromagnetic field of my brain, and then that information gets converted into recognizable concepts based on my memories, feelings, and cultural associations. So that's what mediumship, spirit communication is. Psychometry is aligning my vibration with the vibration of a person, place, or thing. It's residual energy echo because matter retains vibration. Over a century ago, Albert Einstein, Max Planck, and Werner Heisenberg discovered that everything is made of the same energy, a subatomic particle of electromagnetic force known as quantum. Energy is neither created nor destroyed, only transferred from one form to another. We are all energetic beings. Hence, the energy of life transcends physical death.
Hi, welcome back to the Psychic in the Doc. I'm Rocky Trainer, Mark Anthony's business manager, and I'm not the psychic or I'm not the doc as well. But here's Mark Anthony, and we're going to bring on some more callers. But before we do that, Mark, since I'm your business manager, tell everyone how they can get in touch with you, book a reading, a private reading over the phone, about your website, and about your new book coming up. You have 2 great ones out there now, and one's coming up. So let's hear it.
Well, thank you, Rocky. Anyone who wants to get hold of me, to book a private reading, and telephone readings are just as accurate as in-person readings. I mean, they're similar to very much like what we're doing here. It's just that I get to spend a whole hour with you, and we're going to get a lot of spirits coming through. I did a reading the other day, and we had like 11 spirits come through. And the client was tickled pink because a couple people she didn't expect popped in. But people who visit my website, which is evidenceofeternity.com, and that's just like the title of my last book, Evidence of Eternity. And you can find out about my books, Never Letting Go and Evidence of Eternity, and booking a reading with me at my website, evidenceofeternity.com. And I do have another book, which is coming out this October. I'm very excited about that. It's uplifting, but edgy. Is the way my publisher, who's very excited about it as well, has described it. And we'll be talking about that as we get closer to the launch date. But if people want to get hold of me, please, evidenceofeternity.com. And also, please sign up for my newsletter. And that will keep you up to date on my media appearances. Now, obviously, I'm here every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain, and 4 p.m. Pacific, doing the Psychic in the Doc with my co-host, Dr. Pat, and she will be back next week. But I'm also appearing on several other shows and podcasts. So if you sign up for my newsletter, you can keep up to date to that. And the website is evidenceofeternity.com. Thank you, Rocky. I appreciate that.
Sure. You know, Mark is such an interesting guy. I love working for him. He's like the best boss I've ever had. He doesn't even boss me around. That's how great he is. And we have traveled.
It doesn't work if I do anyway. So
we have traveled to the most unique locations around the world, to spiritual places, meeting people of different belief systems and what they think about the afterlife. And they are always enthralled with Mark. And it's just been such an incredible journey for me. I'm honored to work with you and for you, Mark Anthony. And so I want to move on because, Jacob, we have another caller. And where are they from? I think it's, is it Kathy from Florida?
Catherine from Florida. Let's bring Catherine on right now.
Catherine. Hello, Catherine. Welcome.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going? What can I do for you? This is Mark Anthony.
Hi, Mark. I just am anxious to know when you might be live again in Miami, Florida.
Well, you know, it's funny.
I can answer that.
Yeah, let Rocky know.
Since I'm his business manager and I book Mark's engagements around the States and around the world, actually, Mark and I and our team had a very in-depth conversation about we want it to be safe for everyone. And once we feel, I believe it'll probably be near the end of the year and the beginning of next year when we will be back in person. And we so hope that everyone, yes. And we love everyone from Miami. We've had great turnouts in Miami and Fort Lauderdale and Palm Beach. And we have and down in the Keys. So we look forward to going back to those areas. But right now, let's have Mark do something with you.
Yeah, and first off, Catherine, thank you for asking. But make sure that you visit my website and sign up for the newsletter, because that will definitely keep you up to date when we do start booking in public appearances again. This is strictly my opinion. I think there's been too much of a rush to open. I think that we can open and do things, but it has to be careful and measured. I've been receiving messages about COVID-19 before it ever happened, and we could do a whole show just on that.
I'm a witness to that.
Yeah,
Yes.
Rocky's seen it, and they told me that there is a reverse course, meaning this is good, but that we still have to wear, the way they told me, they said, wear your armor. In other words, wear your mask. Yeah. And I'm also interpreting wear your armor as fortifying your body, get the vaccine. I know there's people that disagree with me. Look, that's your decision, but based on what the other side told me, I got the vaccine and I got the mask. Okay, so what can I do for you, Catherine?
Okay, I always feel every time I have talked to you
you have always said something to another person that was meant for me, and that was the celery. It was crazy because I make celery juice almost every single day.
Well, actually, that's what, and I touch on that in my last book, Evidence of Eternity. But in my new book, The Afterlife Frequency, I go very deeply into what I call collective consciousness communication. This is a term that I have developed for this book. And what that means is, see, people think that spirit communication, Catherine, is individualized, so that it's one spirit for one person, one message. But the other side's a collective consciousness. And what that means is, think of your soul as a drop of water. When it leaves your body upon physical passing, plunges into an eternal sea of other souls, so that when they want to communicate, they may be using me as a channel, and I'm delivering the message for that other person, but that spirit is harmonized with a multitude of other spirits. They know that you're present, so messages for you are piggybacked along that. And I explain this in great detail, how this works in the upcoming book. So what I always tell people is, if I'm doing a reading, and even if you don't get an individualized reading, but something comes through that touches your heartstring, or that it resonates with you in some way, take it, because that is collective consciousness communication. The collective of the other side is communicating to more than one person at a time, although at first blush, it appears that it's just being targeted at one person. That's a very good question. Thank you for asking that.
Amazing, amazing. Anything from my wonderful husband who's on the other side?
Oh, absolutely. As soon as you said my husband, I felt like I needed to open up a bag of Doritos and another bag of Bugles. And was he a junk food guy?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm tasting Doritos, the regular ones, not those fancy ones, okay?
Oh, yeah.
And he is laughing and laughing. And he said, you know, we used to go to the track. We used to go to the track. Did you guys like go to car races or go to
Horse racing?
Horse races or something?
Okay.
Is that a yes?
I would say you're probably talking about another husband. I've had 3.
Guess what? Collective consciousness. All right, hold on, Catherine. You're the one that has opened the Pandora's box of collective consciousness tonight. We just don't have one husband. We got 3 of them, because spirits show up in a group and they all know that you're here. So you got one husband, that's the junk food, Doritos and Bugles guy. And we got the other one that used to like going to the track. Okay. And let me tell you, they all think that you are just, one of them says, she's the cat's meow.
Well, one is on the other side. 2 are still here. But the one that's on the other side is the latest one. And he was the one with the laugh that could wake up the neighborhood.
There you go.
Wow, that's great. Well, I guess the one husband was talking about the other husband as well. So obviously, yeah, it does. Well, I'm not going to ask.
There's 3 guys that are here for you, and it doesn't necessarily mean they all had to be husbands. So apparently you are a very alluring and popular lady. And guys, let me tell you, you have a magic over men, Catherine, and power to you.
Well, I think we need to move on.
Well, okay. I thank you very much. And I just wanted to know if the one that's deceased wanted to tell me where the money was.
He says you'll never find it. And no, it's almost like it doesn't. It's almost like it doesn't even exist anymore, or he says you'll never find it.
Okay. Or I
bummer. I was hoping to hear, yeah, look behind the couch, but he said you'll never find it.
I look forward to seeing you guys in person. It's so much fun.
Likewise. Thank you, Catherine. That's very sweet of you. God
Blessings
bless you.
too. Be well. Be well. Okay, Jacob, who is next?
Next up from Hawaii, we have Adele.
Aloha, Adele. Malahalo. Okay. Adele, can you hear us? Oh, I hope we haven't lost her.
Adele, are you there?
Hello, Mark. I'm here.
Hey, aloha. How you doing, Adele?
Aloha. Hello. I'm doing real fine. I'm so ecstatic that I got called.
Well, thank you for calling in. And if you could speak up just a tad, I'm having a hard time hearing you. You may be able to turn up the volume on your phone or just speak up. And how can I help you, Adele?
Okay. Can you hear me better? Is it
Perfect.
Yes.
Now, there we go.
That's great. Okay, I'm just wondering if there's, I know you always say there's people coming through, but as far as for some family issues that I would say I'm not at fault of, but of course there's always two sides of a coin. There's some unrest between family members, and I'm just wondering when.
All right, hold on, Adele.
Will this all end?
Okay, Adele, hold on. And this is for your benefit as well as everyone else. Remember, spirit communication is not like going to Santa Claus with a list of what I want. Okay, so is there a particular person that you want to hear from, or do you want me just to open up and see who comes through?
My dad or my brother would be great.
Okay, see, there we go. That's how we do it. Okay, who's the smoker? One of them came through and was like, was that your brother? That's a yes or a no. Who's the smoker? Smoker. I'm getting in. It's not just tobacco. I'm getting some wacky tobacco too. All right. So what's going on?
Could have been my brother. I'm not sure though. I can't really confirm that.
You don't know if your brother smoked weed?
Oh, in his younger days, he did.
All right. Well, that's what I'm smelling. I was a criminal defense lawyer. I know what it smells like. Okay. So it was funny because, people would ask me like, you ever see drugs, man? And it's like, yeah, in an evidence bag. Okay. So wow. What I get with your brother, and I believe your dad may be here too, because I'm getting two guys. I'm getting all these pains in my legs, in my knees, in my calves, and this feels. Do you ever get those pains in the middle of the night where you wake up and your calf is just killing you?
From cramps, yes.
Yeah. This could indicate that your brother was having some muscle neurological pain. Could be a potassium deficiency as well. Does that make any sense with your brother or your dad?
My
and
dad,
potassium deficient. I'm sorry?
With my dad, yes, he had leg pain.
Okay. So then, all right, we had your brother. He's the smoker. Now we're over to your dad. He's the one with the leg pain. Okay. Hold on. You're expanding your residence? Expanding your residence? Are you either moving or doing some renovation or something with your home environment?
My daughter's home is getting renovated.
That's a yes. So what this indicates is that your dad and your brother are around you and your daughter, and so they're aware of what's happening in your life. Okay. Was one of these guys, and the reason I asked this, because I feel all of a sudden like I'm wearing military style boots, like army boots, and I feel like I'm marching and trudging through mud. Was one of these guys in the military?
My brother.
Okay. See how we switch from your dad to your brother? This is all part of collective consciousness communication. We can pop from one spirit to the next. Okay. Your brother is extremely happy that you're doing this as in the communication. And he's also talking about, when I see images of various saints, I'm seeing an image of St. Christopher, and that can indicate Christopher, Christine connected you or him. But this could also be an indicator that you either just got back from some type of travel, or you're about to, or you're in the planning phases of some type of trip. Does this make any sense?
Yes.
Okay. And this is going to be a good trip, a good trip. What's going on with you in October? I'm seeing this next October and I'm getting thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. What's going on in October? You got something coming up?
nothing that I know of that is planned.
Okay, something's coming up. All right, so when's this trip you're going on?
End of May.
End of May.
It's end of May, and I did come back from a trip 2 weeks ago. So,
Okay, so we got the bada bing, bada boom. You got back from a trip, you're going on a trip. Okay. Yeah, the trip you're going on, I get it's very positive, very good. And I get something's coming up in October that's a health-related issue, but it's going to be for the positive. This is going to be good. So I don't know if there's any testing or something with you or somebody close to you, but October is going to bring good health news. So that's always nice to hear.
that's good.
And there they go.
Oh, that's really something.
All right, thanks, Rocky.
Yeah, that's really good. Thank you very much for calling, Adele. Okay, Jacob, do we have someone else?
Yes, we
I
do.
know
We're
we're
going to head over to Washington, D.C. with Victor.
Good. Okay.
I
Hello,
love
Victor.
DC.
Hello, Victor. You're on air with the psychic and the doc and Rocky.
Hello?
Hello, Victor.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear? You're
yes,
on
I can
air.
hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you. I want to turn it over to Mark. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, Victor, how's it going?
Thank you. Very good, Mark. You're great. You really are. I really enjoy your show.
Oh, thanks. I'm glad. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. And by all means, feel free to tune in every week. Tell your friends. What can I do for you?
Well, I just want to know if there's anyone out there that would like to communicate with me, or if there's anything that you see psychically that you'd like to share.
Okay. Hold on. Well, I'm getting a male energy coming through now. He feels like he could be on your generational level. So that could be like a sibling, friend, cousin. He feels like your generation. Okay. And with him, gosh, I feel like there are all these cramps in my stomach. My stomach really hurts. So I'm getting stomach, intestines, lower GI tract issues. It feels basically from my diaphragm south, getting a lot of complications. It almost feels like, if you've ever been like really constipated, and I'm not saying that he was constipated, but it feels like this massive pressure and pain in the GI tract. And I'm also getting shivers, like I'm really cold. So that could be, you may have had a fever, but this could also be an indicator that that there were circulation issues connected to this. And I feel like I'm about to break out in a sweat. So this poor guy, he was pretty ill. Does this make any sense to you, Victor?
No, it doesn't. Not at this
Okay,
time.
let me advise. I was when I do private readings, I'm able to spend, I always do like 15 minutes before we start an orientation. Be careful about going directly to no. It's better to say I'm not sure, not at this time, because this could be somebody that just hasn't rung a bell with you yet. Okay, because if we go no, that creates a barrier and they're going to back off. But let's see what this guy wants you to know. Okay, now he is talking about, I feel like I'm in a vehicle and I'm getting an impact to the passenger, the front passenger side, and he's focusing on you. Were you recently, or is there some like really bad accident in your background, which focuses, which the impact feels like it was on the front end of the car, but on the passenger side?
I know who it is, Mark.
Okay.
I know
All right.
I know exactly. I think that's my uncle.
I'm sorry?
I think that's my uncle that's coming through.
Oh, okay. Were you guys real close, real tight, like friends?
We were very close. He was a little younger, but we were very close.
Okay, a little younger, very close. Okay, that's probably why he felt like he was on the friend
little older. He was a little older. I was a little younger, but we were very close.
Okay, and it's the car accident that triggered the memory. In what way?
Well, that is what caused him to transition. But before that, he was in the hospital with an illness, and it was prostate. He had problems with his prostate, which
That
got
makes
better, but then he had
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. The stomach, the lower GI tract, colon area. Got it. Okay. He keeps saying to tell you got to hedge your bets. Hedge your bets. Now, I don't think he's giving gambling advice. He's talking to you about diversification with your investment portfolio. Wow, we're getting good advice here, I guess. Are you doing something with a retirement fund, IRA, or something with your finances, or shifting them to another outlet or something? Or are you considering this?
Not that I'm aware of presently.
Okay. What I'm getting from your uncle for you is that you need to re-examine either your IRA, your investment portfolio, how your funds, your investments are. And I don't want you giving, out any information about that. But that's what he says. You got to hedge your bets. And he said that you tend to be a little more risky with your money than you should be. And that may not just be with investments. That could also be maybe your spending habits too. So what I'm getting from him is like erring on the side of conservation. And Victor, is there any connection with you or somebody close to you with the state of Maine? I know you're in DC, but I'm seeing a map of the US in my mind's eye that's being projected to me, and I'm seeing the state of Maine. And maybe you've been there, connections there, vacations there, but I'm getting this whole thing about Maine.
I can't place the connection at this time.
Well, I'm sorry to interrupt, but we are less than a minute before the show ends. Victor, I would suggest call in next time and maybe we can continue this or go on to Mark's website and maybe book a reading with him. I want to say thank you for calling and to everyone who has called in this evening. It's been my pleasure of sharing in your readings with you. Mark?
Thank you. And Victor, thank you. I want to thank all the callers. I'm Mark Anthony. You're listening to The Psychic and the Doc. My amazing and incredible co-host, Dr. Pat Baccili, will be back next week. We got a very interesting show. We have an expert on extraterrestrial life. So think X-Files and think the other side. Ooh, we're going to have a good time next week. And everyone keep tuning in to The Psychic and the Doc. I'm Mark Anthony, and my co-host, Dr. Pat Baccili, will be back next week. Thank you for tuning in. Many blessings. Namaste. Have a great day.
God bless you all.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to The Psychic and the Doc with Mark Anthony and me, Dr. Pat Baccili, right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Hey, look, come back next week so we can explore with you more of life's many challenges and learn from fascinating guests. And you know what? Even Mark and me. We'll connect you and discover insights from people in this life and from the afterlife. Extraordinary problems? Yeah, they do. They require extraordinary solutions. But step into the world of possibilities with us on The Psychic and the Doc. That's every Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time, right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com. That's TransformationTalkRadio.com. And don't forget, we're also live face-to-face on Facebook.com, Transformation Talk Radio.